Good morning. Today's video is going to focus on things that businesses can do more to navigate their way through the reaction to the coronavirus. I want to jump in straight away and look at countries like China, Singapore, Japan, Vietnam, who acknowledged the coronavirus early and then implemented what we now consider to be appropriate measures to prevent or to contain the spread of the virus and minimise the impact on their communities. These countries are now in a position where they are much further advanced than countries that perhaps were slower to react. I want to continue to focus on the differences that I see between Vietnam and Australia because that's where I spend most of my time, and also it's a very good area for our clients to learn from, and it's a very good area for us to continue to learn. In Vietnam, we're starting to now just start to think about the recovery. When that might be, what that might look like, what government assistance we might get, and how our lives, our business lives and family lives might be affected on the other side. In Australia, it still appears that our leaders are in denial. They're in denial about the impact that this is going to have on Australia, and that's a little bit scary. So that is what's causing a lot of the panic, and I understand that. They're sending mixed messages. And giving us guidance on how to wash our hands, how to shake our hands, and making knee-jerk statements that directly contradict statements that they made just a few days earlier. Australia was in a unique position to get on the front foot here, where they had probably 4 or 5 weeks early warning as to what other countries were going through, and it looks as though they are still way behind other more developed countries as far as managing this issue. So the message I've got for clients is, and the one message I want you to take away from this video is, don't wait for our leaders to lead. You will lead yourselves through this phase and out of this phase. The leaders of our country won't do that for you. And to do this, you need to look to more advanced countries who are managing this, and you need to look to businesses that are in those countries. Try to take some lessons from it and then apply it to your own business, and we are certainly here to help you do that. We're in a fortunate position where we do have exposure to Vietnam. I've had 8 clients contact me this week, and for that exact reason, to talk through their own personal circumstances in their business. They're very interested to hear what's happening over here, and I guess they're a little bit more proactive, and I encourage as many businesses as possible and clients as possible to contact us, because we want you to be stronger on the other side, and we want you to get through this. Over here in Vietnam, when we are seeing daily more and more businesses going out of business, it's tough, it's not easy. The schools are still closed over here. That will happen in Australia, despite our leaders saying it won't happen, or it might not happen, or it might happen in a month's time. Schools will close in Australia, and it won't be for days, it'll be for weeks. We all know that. We're now in a position where we are facing the closure of bars, clubs, cafes, restaurants, things like that. And in the early days, I was one that questioned why we would shut schools but not shut those other places, and cinemas and shopping centres and things like that. Well, now we're doing that, and I want clients to think about, when that comes to Australia, how will that impact on their businesses. I want to have a quick chat about how a country manages its finance as opposed to a business and a house, and just highlight that there's not too many differences at a very high level, at a very simple level, that a country has income and expenses, so does a business, and so does a household. We try and make a profit. Countries try and make a profit through trade surpluses, and when we do make a profit in our country or in our business or home, we then can invest that back into our business, or buy more things that we want around the house. When you want something and you don't have it, you've got to borrow the money, you've got to pay interest, and you've got to repay the debt, which becomes harder in hard times. So I want to just comment how the Vietnamese government here is in a much better position to get us through these hard times, due to our official interest rates being 6%. We've had clear communication. We've had some communication come out that there might be some relief for mortgage holders. There could be some tax relief. There could be a reduction in interest rates. There might be some deferral of tax payments. These things have already been communicated to us, but it appears as though that they've been well planned. It's been a well planned approach with an eye on recovery. Australia is handing out cash and they don't yet understand the problem. So why this is relevant to business is that the first thing we need to do is look inside our businesses, and we need to try and analyse what the problems might be in our business. And before we do anything, we need to understand that problem and then think hard about what we can do to minimise an impact, but more importantly, see if there's any opportunities there to put your business in a better position. So, as I mentioned in a previous video, as every business suffers, another business does slightly better. So there are opportunities, and with those clients that have contacted us, we've come up with quite a few opportunities for those clients. So we need you to do that now. Start looking into your business now, not in 3 days' time or a week's time. I want you to be a leader, I want you to be on the front foot, and I want you to be better prepared than anyone else. We've been in a fortunate position this week where I've had my business partner Lydia over here in Vietnam with me, and we've also had a client over here who we've been spending a lot of time with, and very fortunate to be able to look at their business and come up with a lot of ideas and a lot of changes that they will make to their business that to do things that they've never done before. And we're very certain that this is going to put the client in a much better position. We come up with new ideas, the clients quite often come up with those ideas. We're there just to support them, but opening up communication opens up those opportunities to have that discussion. So I guess the message I said before, don't wait for our leaders to lead us out of this. You need to do this yourself now. And it's in times like this that we need to protect what we've got a little bit more, and because times are uncertain, we don't really know how things will go, we don't know for how long, so we need to focus on creating and growing our buffer or safety net a little bit more. So I'd like all clients not to be wasteful with it and be a bit more wiser in their spending, and again look for those opportunities. There are opportunities in every business, and if you need a hand with that, or if you want our assistance, I'll have a chat. Or if you've just got questions, as I always say, please leave a comment or get in touch with us some other way through a message or email. These videos have now had over 4,000 views, so we think this is a good way to get messages out to clients, and we encourage people to continue watching, and if you find the information useful, or you want to have a chat about expanding on something I've said in these videos, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.